The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Welcome back. So earlier, Emily, you had the chance to speak one-on-one with Oki Matsumoto, who is the CEO of Japanese financial powerhouse Monex Group. They own one of the largest crypto exchanges in Japan, among other financial firms, right?
Yes, and Oki Matsumoto is very influential in the Japanese crypto world, and he's also very candid. So I recommend watching this video through to the end because he has some really interesting insights, in particular about some of the troubles that Binance has faced in Japan on the regulatory front. And he also discusses why digital yen is actually a national security issue. But first, we started out just talking about looking at an outlook on the Japanese crypto market. Japan was a crypto paradise for a while. Then regulators really cracked down after a major exchange hack. And so the first question I asked him was, is Japan back?
I think Japan is back. As you said, it is legalized, and the legal infrastructure is actually quite good in Japan. Also, I think that Japan is back in the retail crypto activity, but one big difference between the US and Japan is the institutional market. You do have a very good, strong, large institutional participation into crypto. If it's the corporations, if it's asset managers, endowment, there is, and also the legal framework is enabling them to come to crypto. And that is very different in Japan. So in the retail side, Japan is back and Japan is very active in crypto, but institutional side, it is kind of nowhere. So that is a really big difference between, yeah.
Yeah, you've been saying that for years. So why is that? I mean, why has it been so hard for Japan to have an institutional crypto market?
Japan, the government actually made a legislation about a year ago that the crypto cannot be custodized by trust banks. So banks are basically completely away from, doing custodian for crypto, which is very different in the States. You guys legalized whereby the federal bank can do the custodian business for crypto, and that is not the case in Japan. And I think for institutional customers, they do want more institutional, kind of participation in custodian side, and that is still in Japan, including CoinDesk, more like a startups doing the everything. If it's custodian to the customer interface, everything is done by those startups. In the States, there is Fidelity and Courage, and we're hearing lots of banks coming into the custodian side. So that part is very solid in the States. But it's not the case in Japan. So that is really blocking the institutional participation to crypto, I think.
What's going on with Binance in Japan? I mean, technically, Binance isn't even in Japan, right? So why are they still getting these warnings?
Well, the JFSA claims that the Binance is doing a marketing activity inside Japan, although Binance is not, approved by JFSA. I think it's, kind of, I'm not sure if I can say this in public domain, but I think it's kind of a stupid idea, because Binance has got the Japanese website, and then so that Japanese can easily open the account and such, so that the JFSA admits that Binance is doing marketing in Japan. But you know what? Everybody in the world do the business on the web using English. But England or UK government never calls those guys that you are doing marketing to English people, right? So I think about the JFSA's action is a little bit kind of stupid, but I think somehow Binance didn't. I don't know the detail, but I believe that they didn't listen to something from JFSA, so JFSA didn't like it. I think it's this kind of the fight against the regulators happen anywhere in the world.
Thank you for your honest assessment. One last question, because we're running out of time. Do you think Japan is going to see a digital yen sometime soon?
I believe so. BOJ is doing the POC right now, and China is as you know testing the E-yuan digital RMB in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen. Those guys, they try to do the global debut at Beijing Olympics, and from the national security, economical security point of view, for Japan to have a digital fiat, CBDC is quite important. So it is kind of a national mandate now, to create a digital yen. So it's a BOJ as well as the government working on it. I think
why
it's just
is it
a matter of.
Why is it a national security issue?
Well, the data is really, could be more than the military. This U.S. data SWIFT corresponding banking system is really the strong, national security tool for U.S. and allies to protect themselves. And EU1 digital RMB is one challenge to crack that dominance of the data in the world. China is now the second largest, or could be the largest trading, partners, but still, vast majority of trade with China is settled in data. So in that way, U.S. is really kind of holding neck of China, which China doesn't like. So they come up with this digital UN, idea. It means flip side of that is, if we just let China does that, it will decrease the power of this data kind of national security umbrella. So I think Japan is trying to create the kind of something which can, counter this EU1 initiatives. It will be quite interesting, the initiatives, I think.